Hi friends, today we're going to do tennis ball, basketball drop. We'll have gone over the directions together to start on Monday, and then you are going to be recording this information on page 6 of your science journal. And so I have a chart here that looks very similar to what you're going to be recording. If you want to do this at home and you want to use your own materials, you're welcome to. Or if you don't have access to that, then you certainly can use my data instead of your own. Please make sure that you fill in your individual predictions before you get started on this page here. You may skip number 1 at the top, and you can also skip group prediction. And you guys can just do your own prediction here. We're going to be recording our observations and doing 3 trials of each of the activities. So the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to drop a tennis ball. You'll see here that I have meter sticks taped to my wall. You can also do this with a measuring tape at home if mom or dad has a measuring tape. I will record the data here, and then I will move the camera closer so that you can see it more clearly. I will also give you opportunities to pause the video to get caught up if you need to. So the very first thing I do is I'm going to start the tennis ball. Each time we do this, we're going to drop it at 100 centimeters. And I want to record the height of the bounce, so how far high the tennis ball goes, okay? And so I'm going to start here, and I'm going to hold it not towards the wall, but just a little bit away. And I'm going to try to pay very close attention to how far it bounces. So it came up to about 46. I'm going to record this on our chart each time. 46 centimeters. And I'm going to do this again. Same height, 100 centimeters. Going to watch the bounce. That time it was about 44 centimeters. And I'm going to watch the height of the bounce again. Drop it from 100 centimeters. That came up to about 43 centimeters. Now, if we were in class, there's a column called average. I would have taught you how to calculate the average. Since we're at home virtually, instead of calculating an average, we're just going to go with the middle number. So the middle number is 44 centimeters. And so that's what we're going to use for our data for the average, is 44 centimeters for the average height of the tennis ball. The next one we're going to do is the basketball. Again, I'm going to drop this at 100 centimeters. I'm going to try to keep it just above 100 centimeters, not below. And again, I want to pay close attention to the height of the bounce. So I'm going to crouch down here so I can see my meter stick a little bit more closely. So the top of the ball came up to 70. I'm going to use the top of the ball each time. So that one came up to 70 centimeters. I'm going to do the basketball again. Ooh, that came up higher. That time it came about 80 centimeters. And again, it came about 80 centimeters. Since I have 2 pieces of data that are the same and not really quite in the middle, I'm just going to go with 80 centimeters. So it's important to think about, why did the tennis ball not bounce as high? Why did the basketball bounce higher? Now we're going to do a nifty little activity. We are going to put the basketball on top of the tennis ball and drop it and see what happens. At this point in the video, if you want to pause and try this at home for tennis ball and basketball and record your own data, you're welcome to. So we're going to continue, and this time I'm going to drop, it's kind of hard to do, the tennis ball on the basketball on top of the tennis ball. Again, I'm going to start at 100 centimeters. I'm going to be looking at the height of the basketball. So even though I'm dropping 2 balls, I'm only going to be looking at the height of the basketball because I want to see if the energy can transfer from the tennis ball through the basketball and see what happens. that came about 60. So at 60 centimeters. Let's do that again. Ooh, that didn't come up quite as high. Oh, my ball rolled away. That one came up about 50 centimeters. And one more time. We do it 3 times because we want our data to be more accurate. Now my marker's rolling. Whew. Ah! So that time, the ball came about to 55 centimeters. Because 55 is the middle number in between 50 and 60, we're going to use that as the final number for the basketball on top of the tennis ball. So the basketball before bounced to 80 centimeters, but when it's dropped on top of the tennis ball, it only went 55. So here's where the real fun happens. The last thing we're going to do today, we're going to drop the tennis ball on top of the basketball. This time, I want to look at the height of the tennis ball and see how far it bounces. So I'm going to start right here and see what happens. Whoa! I don't know if you saw that, it hit the ceiling. Where'd my ball go? My ball disappeared. It rolled away. Now the height of my rulers, I have 1 meter stick is 100, another meter stick is 100, and then about 52. So it's a combined total of 252 centimeters. That's really high. Let's do that again. Let's see if I can get the same results. And hopefully I won't lose my ball again. All right. Whoa! Redo. This is so fun. You guys got to try this at home. All right, redo. Let's try that again. Whoa! It hit the ceiling again. One more time. Let's see if we can hit the ceiling once more. Woo! Can you hear it hit the ceiling? That's so funny. So, I hit the ceiling every time. 252 centimeters. And every time. So we're going to use that as our final number. So let me get you closer so you can see that data. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Woo. Go ahead and finish filling that in onto your data table on page 6. Pause the video here if you need to record that information. The data you need to focus on when you start answering the questions on the next page is that information in this final column. So what we're going to do is we're going to think about why was the tennis ball by itself so low? And why was the tennis ball on top of that basketball so high? On page 7, you're going to write down what happened for the tennis ball alone, basketball alone, basketball on top of tennis ball, and tennis ball on top of basketball. Number 5 does say to write a group explanation. Since you don't have a group today, you can write what you think happened with that transfer of energy. Thank you, friends. I hope you had fun today and that you get a chance to try this at home. Bye.